I'll be doing this review today. Selected problems. Number one, what are the names of three collinear points? In this case, the answer would be C, A, and B. So once again, this answer would be C, A, and B are collinear. Coplanar points are points that are on the same plane. So in this case, you have D, A, J, B. Now K and L are non-coplanar. Are A, B, and D collinear? A, B, and D are not collinear because they don't lie on the same line. So the answer is B. Name the plane represented by the top of the box. So you first name it by calling it plane, and then you use 3 points that are on the top of this plane, and the plane is right here. So any 3 points that are coplanar. So in this case, it's A, I, let me name it correctly. A, plane A, I, D. The question says, what are names of 3 planes that contain A? So here's the first plane. Here's the second plane. And the third plane is the one that's in the back. So now you just have to name them correctly. So we have plane A, B, D, plane ABF, and then we have plane ACG. Okay. So other way to name a ray, you have ray, you have a ray, and then it's A. You always start with the endpoint, B. Ray AB, that's the only way you can name that. What is the name of the ray that is opposite of ray NP? So the one that's opposite is the one that has the endpoint here, and then it goes in the opposite direction. So it's ray NM. Ray NM. What are the names of the segments in this figure? So I'm going to say segment AB, or you can call it segment BA. Segment BC, or you can call it segment CB. And then the last segment that we see is segment AC, or we can call it segment CA. Which diagram shows plane PQR and plane QRS intersecting only at QR? So we have PQR, which is this right here. And then the other plane is QRS, which is this one here. And you notice that these 2 planes intersect at QR. So the only answer that fits this will be C. C. What is the intersection of Y, Z, V? So it's Y. So I'm going to go ahead and name the points. We have Y, and the other one is Z. Y, Z, V, and U. So it's the front plane. So I'm going to color it. Color the front plane. And then the other plane is Z. So let me use a different color. Z. Z. W. S. V. So it's the one on the side. I'm going to color yellow. So you notice that the two planes intersect. So what are the two planes? What are the intersections of two planes? It's line segment. It's line segment VZ, or you can name it ZV. Either one, you can name it. The intersection of two planes is always a line segment or a line. Name a fourth point in plane U. So I'm gonna go ahead and color it U, V, and X. Okay, so this is kind of tricky. Now it's a plane that's slicing it. It's like a slice. See how it cuts the box in half? And I want to color it so you can see it better. I'll use yellow. I'm going to color it, and you notice that it's like cutting the cube in half sideways, diagonally. So the only point that fits that is W. Point W. You see if I were to rotate it, you would see that it's a slice. It's a slice of the cube, or the slice of the three-dimensional figure. EF is 9x plus 12. FG is 44. And E to G is 218. So we're going to go ahead and set this up. So we have 9x plus 12 plus 44 equals 218, and I notice that the distance from E to F plus the distance of F to G equals the total distance from E to G. So you're going to add 12 plus 44, and you get 56. So what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and subtract 56 from 218. So you have 218 minus 56. And you get 200. So you subtract 218 minus 56 and you get 162. And then you divide both sides by 9. And you get 18. Now it's asking what is the value of x, so we found the value of x. So the value of x is equal to 18. Which point is the midpoint of A to E? So you have A and you have E. So to find the midpoint, it's -7 plus 7 divided by 2. So -7 plus 7 is 0 divided by 2, so 0 is a midpoint. In this case, it's C. E to G is actually 15, right? I know F is 2/5 of the way between E and G, so 2/5 of the distance, right? Away from E to G. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go 2/5 times 15. So that's 2 times 15 is 30. So it's 6. So if it's going to be 6, then if it's from here to here, it's 15. So F is 2/5 away from E. In this case, it's 6. So I'm going to say that's 6. So the distance from F to G has to be the difference between 15 and 6. So it's going to be 9. In a batch of 980 calculators, 7 were found to be defective. So 7 out of 980 equals, what is the probability that a calculator chosen at random will be defective? Write the probability as a percent. Percent is always out of 100. Okay, so what you can do is you can multiply 980 times x is equal to 700, and then divide by 980, and you notice that the numerator is smaller than the denominator, so we have 700 divided by 980, and I'm using my calculator, and I get 5/7. And if you want to convert that to a decimal, it will be 0.7. 0.7%. So your answer is A. If Z is the midpoint of RT, so I know that the distance from R and the distance to Z is the same as the distance from Z to the distance of T. So you have 9x minus 10 equals 143. They're the same distance. So I can find x. So I add 10 to both sides. So you have 9x equals 153. And then you divide by 9. So x equals 153 divided by 9, which gives you x is 17. So x is 17. This is 143. So RZ has to be 143 because that's the midpoint. And then RT, you just have to add both 143 plus 143, which gives you 286. That's the distance from R to T. You roll a standard number cube. Of course, we have six possibilities. It can be 1, it can be 2, it can be 3, it can be 4, it can be 5, it can be 6. What is it? You roll a standard cube, find the probability the number is not 3, so it's not 3, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so it's 5 out of 6, so your answer is D. Determine whether each pair of action results in independent or dependent results. Remember that in independent, that means none of the probabilities affects the other. So in this case, rolling a standard number cube and then picking a marble, these are two different events, two different probabilities. One does not affect another, so definitely it is independent. And it will be A. The roll will not affect the marble selection. 22, you pick one marble out of a bag. Then without replacing the marble, you pick another marble. So basically, this is a dependent because one depends on the other. So it's not independent, it's not independent. So it says dependent it's going to be D. The first marble selection will affect the second marble selection.